somebody's got to lead the motor coach industry, and there's one company responsible for pushing the paint schemes, the technology, the overall package. Today, we're hanging out with Frank at Liberty Coach. Frank, great to see you, sir.
You too, buddy. Thank you. Thanks for being here.
Always an honor. Liberty Coach has done it again. What are we looking at here, sir?
This is a brand new 2023. We actually just got it down here about a week ago. It is a sold unit. We're getting ready to do delivery on it. As a matter of fact, after we're done here with the shoot. This coach is a triple slide with the super slides in the back for the super suite. It is a non-bath and a half, so it has the vanity in the rear with the shower and then a large closet. So this shows you the differences between bath and a half, non-bath and a half. There's still the non-bath and a half is still extremely popular. There's no question about it. It does give you more closet area as well. The bays in the coach on this one are configured a little differently, custom for the client, as well as a couple of fun things on the interior that they requested.
Yeah, you were saying you did some custom stuff in this coach. I'm looking forward to see that. Before we take a look closer at this coach, this paint scheme has gone completely away from what everybody else is doing. Do you know what the inspiration was for this design?
You know, Dean and the client worked together on it. I know they were going back and forth with a few different designs. We were kind of involved a little bit here and there, but you know, the geometrics that's on it comparatively to some of the other stuff that you're seeing, I like that idea. I like the way that some of that stuff is going. Definitely is away from swirls and the curves and that type of thing. So I think it gives the coach a longer feel and look to it as well. So I think it's pretty cool.
Really exciting to see, and I actually saw you guys were out at the Daytona 500 recently. You had a huge presence with Liberty Coach there, and that's one thing that a friend of mine was mentioning, that when you see a Liberty Coach with a Dean Laux paint job, there's just nothing like it. Really commands attention. You're the only company in the industry that uses a world-renowned artist to do the paint design and the paint process. What's your relationship with Dean Laux, and how far back does that go?
The relationship with Dean and I goes back beyond 30 years, well beyond 30 years. He was doing some specialty projects for Class A's for Fleetwood years ago, occasionally, and then a lot of stuff in boats and offshore racing boats. I had gotten to know him, and then we did a couple of projects together, which were specialty projects back in the mid-90s, late 90s, if you will. One was for Randy Travis, another one was for another client that we had, and then came into 2012 and kind of got tired of seeing the coaches running down the road and they all looked the same. It didn't matter if it was a Class A, it didn't matter if it was a Prevost, it didn't matter if it was a Newell. They were all starting to look the same coming at you. So I wanted to step away from that and see what we could come up with, and I approached Dean about doing it. We thought maybe he could do the design work and then Prevost could apply the paint. Well, that wasn't really working out based upon what Dean was putting together. So then we sat down and came up with an idea that he would do all of the Liberty coaches, and that started in 2012, and he's been with us since then doing all of our paint since that time. So the relationship is now over 10 years. It keeps getting better. We're really great friends. We travel a lot together as well. He's out there with the customer base listening to them too, so it's worked out really, really well. The interior part of what we do, what Kim puts together, my sister-in-law, and what Kurt puts together, now the interior and exterior complement. You know,
yeah, I saw some stuff through the windshield that kind of tied in the exterior paint job on the interior. Looking forward to seeing that. Dean has paintings that are more expensive than most of the paint jobs on other RVs out there. True story.
Exactly.
So it really says a lot when you're able to have an artist like that design every Liberty coach. Really a relationship that's moved the RV industry to another level.
No question.
Can we take a closer look at this coach?
Absolutely. So down here in the first bay, similar to what we have done in the past, we have the slide out tray units that we have here. We manufacture those in-house, so we have the lowest profile of the trays, so that gives you more height inside the bay. Of course, with the H345, compared to other coaches that are out there, your bay height is the highest that there is and the most amount of storage that you have in the industry as well. We have the tool drawer here, upper cabinets that are here for storage as well. The Liberty Coach, we always provide extra set of water filters for the client, so you know when they need to change those out, either they or service technician does. There's a spare set here already. In the second bay here, we've got the rollout tray again that goes 3/4 of the depth. This was a special cabinet that the client requested. This is a table that comes out, legs attached to it so it can sit out, so it's a nice storage area for that. 65-inch TV, slides out here. This is manufactured by Liberty Coach as far as the mechanism, the swivel, everything is manufactured by us. And it also has a locking mechanism, so if it's windy outside, it'll keep it from moving. Goes in its nice little pocket. This is a little change on our cabinet down here. As opposed to having either a wine cooler or refrigerator, we've done a slide out refrigerator freezer unit here. This is a 12 volt and 110 unit. Then we have the storage area for the grill unit as well, and more storage here.
Yeah, and as you're opening and closing all of these doors, I'm just noticing, every little edge, all of the little detail work that goes into these bays. What's your philosophy when it comes to finishing out the basement bays?
We always believe that the bays should look as good as the interior of the coach. So everything is planned out to have its own space. And then the finish of it is also done that way too. It's no different than what you're seeing here. What you pointed out is how everything is finished on the edges, how the cabinets are all finished nice on the inside, the carpeting on the walls and on the floors, the stainless steel polished trim that we do on the edging of the door frame so you don't see the welds, so you don't see some of the stuff that's on the structure. So clean all that up. There's a number of things that we do. And then again, going back to the paint part of it, Dean does the same because the edges of the doors, all the way around the doors, are all finished and all smoothed as well.
Yeah, we can see, there's a drop shadow that goes through the edge of this basement door. The amount of detail work that goes into those little details on the side of the bay door, it's a lot of time that goes into that.
No question. And here we did a tool drawer, so not tool box, I should say, to complement also the tool drawer that we have. So this then slides out as well. So nice storage in here. Not that you ever need any tools to work on one of our coaches.
Now, talking about that, we've talked about the lifetime warranty that comes with a Liberty Coach, and I have friends that own Liberty Coaches that have said that you've flown someone out to fix a problem, which rarely happens. But what is your warranty policy, and what type of service can someone expect to receive when they purchase a new Liberty Coach?
So on a new Liberty Coach, we have the 12-month warranty that we do, which covers everything, essentially. Then we have a lifetime workmanship warranty to the first owner. So should, for an example, the fresh water tank, which we manufacture in-house, should 10 years from now that spring leak or a weld crack, a seam break, something like that, that would be replaced free of charge to the original owner. If something that we installed in the coach failed because of our installation process, that would fall under the workmanship warranty as well. And then, of course, we've talked about it a number of times, squeaks and rattles are totally included in that also. The rest of the coach, as far as the Prevost part of it, Prevost does a 2-year warranty, 200,000 mile. Essentially, their goodwill is incomparable in the industry beyond that. Volvo on the engine has a 5-year warranty. The transmission is 5-year as well. That follows the coach, so it doesn't just end with an owner. It follows the coach. As far as the service part of it goes, if anything happens on a Liberty Coach, I don't care if the slide room seal goes out, if the motor falls out of it, the first call you're going to be making is to Liberty Coach. I will answer the phone. We have a service number that falls back to a number of the service technicians. I am on that list as well. If somebody doesn't catch it, it goes to an email off of the voicemail. So the email comes out, it's immediately answered or as quickly as it can be answered, and then we will take it from there. So if it's serious enough, I'll get somebody on a plane and get that situation squared away. It does not happen very often, and sometimes we are requested to fly out to do something as well. So our service support that we do is second to none in the industry, beyond call.
Yes, sir, and I've heard that over and over. You mentioned goodwill that Prevost does, and even like a Liberty Coach owner, Bill Bart, who's gotten a new Liberty every couple years, he said that probably did the goodwill deed for him and made sure everything was taken care of.
Certainly.
I think he said he hasn't spent a penny on that coach.
Probably not.
To this day. So,
Probably not.
But so if you get a new one every year or every couple years, they take pretty good care of you, from what I hear. So.
No problem there. So in the 5th bay then, we have the water compartment here where there. We have the water pump, the water heater, which is a 40-gallon water heater. We have the water filtration system, as well as the RO system, which goes to the refrigerator for the ice maker and the water dispenser on the ice maker, the coffee maker as well. We have a tankless water heater for the shower. So should the water heater fail, the tankless water heater would take over, and at least then you would still have hot water in the shower. We have a dump valve here, air operated, for the fresh water tank. We also have the ability to dump the holding tank from the passenger side. So you can dump the holding tank, you can fill fresh water from either the passenger side or the driver's side, whichever is more convenient. Waterhead sprayer here unit as well. And tank monitoring on both sides of the coach, as well as on all of the Crestron panels and iPads as well. One thing that we have on the exterior that we have 3 positions of, one here, one just ahead of the drive axle, and then in the front corner, that is our blind spot detection system. We're the only Prevost coach conversion company that does install that. So that blind spot detection system we started doing in our 2021 model year coaches. That was coach number 865. That system is a radar, so it is not affected by rain, sleet, snow, mud. So it will see through that, and it will see over approximately a lane on either side of the coach, or a little bit further than that, as well as about maybe 25 feet behind the coach, so that you can tell when somebody's approaching, which then also with your tow vehicle or with a trailer, you'll be able to detect somebody that close to you as well. And then in conjunction with the bird's eye view or 360 camera system, which Liberty Coach was the first to install back in 2016, those in conjunction give you a very, very comfortable, safety-oriented experience. We have the pressure washer back here. That's an option that we install. We also have the deionizing tanks for the water. That's installed in the first bay on the driver's side. We keep it up there because then it's in a heated medium, so that never gets in a situation where it would freeze. We have the ability to drain and blow this unit out here, so if it is in a freezing condition, we can protect that as well. We have the ability to plug the coach in on the starboard or passenger side here. That would be done with a regular Shore cord that you would plug in if it's more convenient, or if the cord reel fails, then you have the ability to power up the coach. We have a 30 amp 220 outlet here that is normally used for powering up a trailer to operate air conditioning or outlets or whatever else that would be in a trailer. That is used only when you're parked. It's not something you would have hooked up going down the road. This is the macerator outlet, so if need be, you have the ability to pump out the holding tank through a garden hose. Typically, we would recommend that people would carry a green garden hose, mark that macerator so it doesn't get confused with, your regular water, and you can pump that out into a sewer drain if needed.
I come from the detailing industry, and when you see little details like this, now this hose, there's different levels of high pressure hose, and this is what's called 2-wire non-marking hose, and this is significantly more expensive. 100 feet of this hose, I believe, it's been a few years, but it was about $200 to $300, where you can go to Home Depot and buy a $25 to $50 high pressure hose, but it's not nearly as durable and isn't going to last. And then the same thing, industrial style power washing gun too, just all that industrial equipment tells a story of everything that's gone into this coach.
Yeah, thank you for pointing that out.
Sure. Frank knew me a long time before YouTube videos. That was
no question
started
about
out
that.
washing coaches.
Back here on the engine compartment, we've got the 500 horsepower D13 Volvo powertrain. It's 1,850 foot-pounds of torque. We have the Liberty Coach polished stainless steel belt guard. Some people like to have this on, some people like to see the belt, so that's up to them if they want to keep it on there or not. This Prevost, since the 2020 model year, has the electric fans. There's 8 separate fans that move at different directions and at different speeds to keep the engine radiator cooled down for the main engine. That was a significant change that they did from the belt system direct drive to a clutch controlled fan. There's less vibration going down the road, and also it did increase the horsepower slightly and also the fuel economy.
Prevost's been doing this for a long time, but all the little stuff like the belt tensioner, what's some of the stuff that Prevost does to make serviceability easier for the end user?
Well, the belt tightening system is something that they've had in place for a number of years, going back to probably the first coaches that we ever built, and that keeps the belts at a constant tension. So you're never having to worry about the fact that, okay, do I need to tighten belts? Are the belts going to fly off? Is there a situation situation like that could happen. This comes from the millions and tens and hundreds of millions of miles that the Prevost coaches have driven down the road. You're looking at now next year, 2024, being the 100th anniversary of Prevost, so there's a significant amount of experience there and service experience through those years as well, which no other manufacturer can compete with or they can compare with.
Prevost serviceability, I know they've got to keep all those, tour buses and seated passenger buses going. I know they have several vans as well as service centers. What's the network for Prevost for service?
Well, off the top of my head, you've got New Jersey, you've got Orlando, Florida, you have Chicago, you have Dallas, Texas, you've got Mariloma, California. There's a facility up in the Northwest as well that are Prevost specific facilities. And then you have the Volvo service network, and then you have the trucks. I don't remember now if there's 17 or 18 or more of those that are out there now, the vans that are running around. They show up at the NASCAR events. They'll come to different resorts that are out there when we're doing events at resorts. They'll come to the rallies that any one of the Prevost manufacturers do. They'll come to their rallies as well. So their service network is huge, and you have to remember that the coach is built for the tour industry, the entertainer industry. It's built for clients, corporations that rely on this to make money on a daily basis. So they have to be there for them to be able to allow them to stay in business and to keep rolling. And they treat the motorhome with the same respect.
You mentioned the rallies. I know Liberty Coach is having a rally this weekend at River Landings, and then up in Sturgis we see the big red Liberty Coach service truck. Now I've met Liberty Coach owners, this was several years ago, that said they go to the Liberty rallies just to get the service work done, because you guys get it done right the first time. What all type of maintenance are folks able to get done at the rallies? Can they get like oil changes, service work, or
oil changes are not something that's field allowed, if you will.
Yes,
you get into a situation of environmental aspects with that, so that we would not be able to do that. You don't have the ability to lift the coach. If you try and get underneath it and do that, it'd be kind of difficult. But if you get in a situation of saying, okay, fine, my water filters, I'd like to get those changed. I've got some filters for my air conditioning I'd like to have gone through. I've got this thing that I need to have adjusted or replaced, what have you. Normally what we'll do is about a month in advance of us getting to those areas, we'll send out an email with a service list that they can fill out to the people that we know that are going to be attending, and then we'll get that stuff ready so it's on the truck for us to be there and make sure that we can take care of it.
Well, a lot of value to that. People can get their coach taken care of while they're enjoying all the activities. And
right.
You don't slow down. It was Daytona a few weeks ago.
River Landing's coming up, and then we've got coming up then the Prevost Proud event, which is in Savannah, Georgia in April, and then we've got Kerrville in May with the Road Hogs, and then we roll into July with the Bus and Bikers in Milwaukee. Liberty Coach supports the different clubs that are out there and our own customer base more than any of the other manufacturers, period. We just got done with our Liberty Coach event here at the end of January, which is our annual rally that we do here in Stuart. We also then had Daytona, which we had probably on Saturday night well over 100 people that came by and visited us and talked to us during that event. It was really something. We had the Prevost Expo, which Jamie Bradsford's deal that we do, so we had Big Red there, plus we had a tent out there for people to be around as well. It's a huge thing. We're also doing now a rally in Maine. It's October 4th through the 8th, and that'll be up in Booth Bay. So we're really excited about doing that again. We did that back in 2018, so that'll be cool.
So if folks are looking for something to do with their coach, you give them an excuse to use it?
And that's the way I've always looked at it. I mean, if you can't give people a reason to use it, why would they keep it? So that's what we continually do throughout the year. And we support the different resorts. We'll be up at Petoskey, Michigan this summer as well toward the end of July for that week, and then that rolls us right into the Sturgis event.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and if folks ride motorcycles, I hear you have a little background riding motorcycles people don't know about. We'll have to tell that story sometime. But
yeah, a little racing, right? In the fifth bay here on the driver's side, we have the signature look of a Liberty Coach with the polished stainless steel freshwater tank, the polished cover for the aluminum holding tank. We have the cover here for the port side dump. The hose comes up hooks on, and then you would cover this back up here to keep anything from crawling up into the coach. We have the gray water bypass, the copper plumbing that's polished and coated here. You can go back and look at coaches that are 15, 20 years old and they're still going to look like that. We also have the 100-foot hose reel, so that's electric retract on the 100-foot city water hose reel. We also have a hand sprayer that pulls out for cleaning out the dump tubes. The dump tubes are located up in a compartment here. And then we also have the washouts. So some people ask, okay, what happens if I can't fill the fresh water tank because the electric valve fails? We have the backup here, which you take the bung out, you can put the hose in right here and fill the fresh water tank. We have an electric valve that you would press a button to wash out the holding tank. If that were to fail, we still have the ability to wash out the holding tank here.
Yes, sir, and as we're going around, I've just got to point out how tall this slide room is. A lot of times when we fill motorhomes, we put the slide rooms in to have easier access to the bays, but we've got all the slide rooms out. I'm 6'2", I can stand up straight. And is this the super slide?
Yep.
In the bedroom?
Yep.
And again, you know, finished out here, you can see the reflection off the paint job. When you start looking under different slide rooms and different motorhomes, it tells a story, and this just, you know, you can't make that up.
No question, no question. Here we have the fuel fill here and DEF, which, Andrew, you've done enough videos on enough coaches, you know that this is very unique for the industry. This goes back to Prevost and the serviceability and being in the tour industry. So you have fuel fill here, you have the DEF located here, there is fuel fill on the other side. You know, how many coaches have you gone to that you have to open up a bay and get down on your knees to fill it, and then you have to move the coach to get to the DEF, or you have to do it by manual with a jug? I mean, this is not part of our thought process here at all. We hold 220 gallons of fuel. I believe that's the largest capacity in the industry as well. And you know, realistically, if you're towing a car, you can expect somewhere in the 6.5 to 7 miles of the gallon range. When I pull my stacker trailer, I'm looking at probably 5.5 to 5.7, which at the end of the day is not bad.
What is this?
Key lock.
Oh, key lock.
That's the key lock to open up the door.
Got to protect 230. Did you say
220.
220
Yeah,
gallons.
it's a good investment.
Yes, sir.
This is the standard way that we build the fourth bay on the driver's side. We can also make this into a closet that's sealed with a door on it as well. The next bay here is going to be the generator, which is our 12.5 kW Onan unit, built inside of its own sound protected, if you will, enclosure.
And that signature Liberty Coach generator box, how long has Liberty Coach been doing that timeless design?
Oh boy, the box cover like that probably goes back into the late 90s, mid 90s probably.
Best looking box cover in the industry.
Second bay driver's side here, this is the brains of the coach. So on the ceiling here, this is what's called the battery management system. This is the junction box for the Volta system. So that is the brains of the alternators on the back of the coach kicking on. We have 20,000 kW of alternator on the back of the coach. There's two independent 10 kW units. We have over 36,000 kilowatt hours of battery capacity on the lithium-ion packs from Volta. They're 58 volt. There's two of those packs. We have the ability to charge going down the road from 20% of charge to 100% of charge in about 2.5 hours of driving down the road. That's unheard of. When you look at the battery capacity that we have, we often get into that discussion. Most of the coaches that are out there have the 8D size batteries, which those 8D batteries are, you know, about 105 pounds a piece. To get to the point of even being close to what the two Volta packs are that we have, you'd have to have 38 of those batteries. We don't have the weight carrying capacity, nor do we have the real estate. So in those packs that we have, we're significantly less weight as well. Each one of those packs weighs about 316 pounds, a lot less weight, and also we have the ability to last much longer. So for an example, if you're sitting at 100% of charge, we get out to Mitchell, South Dakota on the way to Sturgis. It's probably 90 degrees out there, 85, whatever. We get there about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We throw the bedroom air on. We'll throw the galley air on for probably 4 or 5 hours. We'll cook, whatever. We'll shut the galley down, leave the bedroom on. The generator never starts by the time we leave at 7 in the morning. So you can get about 15 to 16 hours off of a single AC running before the generator is going to kick, and then with 2 units, you're probably looking at 8 hours. hours. Now, going back to questions that I see that come up on our videos, we have been doing lithium-ion installations since 2010. So we're over 13 years into this. There was a learning curve when we did it, and now all of a sudden in the last year, you're starting to hear about some of the other ones, other competitors.
I think
in the industry is starting to get into it. They're going to find out the learning curve on that for sure.
Everyone's following suit. Now you have a 13-year head start on that, but I don't think there's anyone at this level that's not using lithium, or at least offering an option at this point. But the Volta system, I go to these different dealers and ask different costs of these lithium packages, and I know the Volta system is much more expensive than a lot of the other stuff I've heard. Can you discuss the cost of the Volta system?
So the way that we do the Volta system, if you look at the alternators, we have 3 5,000 watt inverters, plus the packs, plus the junction box, and the associated hardware that comes with it. This does not include anything to do with generator, watchdog, or auto start systems. That's totally independent. So just on the Volta pallet that comes in the door, you're probably looking at about $89,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
What is it about that it's able to command such a premium?
So there's different levels of lithium-ion technology or lithium-ion. The Volta system is a level above anything that you're going to find out there, similar to what is in a telephone or hoverboards, that type of thing. So there's totally different technology that's built into it. The casing that the Volta pack is built into has venting on it. If an event were to happen inside there, those vents immediately close and the event halts. It can't do anything anymore. You're looking at packs that we can see based on history that are probably going to be 25 plus years in longevity. It's kind of like an engine in your car, right? We've now taken the engine out and replaced it with a energy pack. So that energy pack needs to have that type of longevity like your traditional engine does, okay? So that's what they build. That's their way of looking at things. So it's not like you're going to be looking at taking a coach in on trade 5 or 6 years from now and go, all right, we're going to have to change them out. That's just not part of the thinking process any longer.
And the 8Ds can get cooked pretty easily. Like if the coach doesn't get plugged in, there's a lot of, I've seen batteries that aren't very old, that aren't properly maintained, and then you got to get a whole new set of 8Ds. Those aren't cheap
Sure.
either.
I mean, when you go back to what we used to do years and years ago, which was on the gel batteries, for an example, no matter what they tell you, they build up a memory. And so sitting on charge all the time, like most people do, they build up a memory. Lithium-ion technology doesn't do that. So with the gel type batteries, you'd be sitting there and all of a sudden the next thing you know, you go out to use the coach and you've got 2 hours and the coach is down. So you have to break the memory. So there was procedures that we would go through to break the memory so that those batteries could come back up to some sort of efficiency. When you look at the efficiency that's here on the lithium-ion packs, they come in the door at 90% efficiency, okay? They don't go down to 80% efficiency until you get beyond 2,500 cycles, okay? So a cycle is taking it from 100% down to virtually nothing, okay? That doesn't happen here because when it gets down to 18%, it turns off. Plus, we have warnings, we have notifications that are going to notify Liberty Coach. It's going to notify the owner as well that, hey, the system is getting down low. Can we start your generator for you, or can you do it? Or can you find out why you don't have shore power? Because we can tell that you've lost shore power, okay, and because of notifications. So the unit never gets to that point. But even if it were to get to that point, you got to be 2,500 times of going to that and back up before you get to 80% efficiency. I mean, how many years is that? I mean, it's a long time, okay?
So in the long run, it may be more cost effective in not having to switch the batteries all the time and all the time and energy that goes into that.
Sure. Is it something that you can actually say that, hey, this is a realistic offset? Probably not, because who's going to own the coach long enough to have to do that, right?
Yeah.
But what we have here is we have a technology and we have a system that is worthy of a vehicle that is at this cost level.
Well, then it helps the resale value too.
No question, no question, absolutely. So we have our transfer switch box here in the stainless steel cover, which is our own box that we build that transfers power from generator power, shore power, and inverter power. We have only 6 fuses in the coach. Everything else is done on the Maritz Octoplex system, which inside the coach there's a flat panel that you can see all the circuit breakers. They're electronically programmed circuit breakers that are in the coach. So everything is done programmed from a 1 amp to 30 amp setup. So the troubleshooting of our coach is very simple. If something doesn't work, you look on the panel. It may say that we have a breaker tripped, you reset it, and you're back in business. So it's very easy to do. We've been doing that system since 2007. So we have a number of units underneath our belt with that.
Another way that Liberty Coach has been leading the industry, the lithium technology, the Maritz Octoplex system, and I see this technology implemented, other companies following suit. So got to tip my hat to you for leading the industry.
Thank you.
Somebody's got to do it, right?
Yeah. So on the first bay here on the driver's side, again, this is the other side, low profile rollout trays. This is the deionizing system for the power washer. We have bypass kits in here as well, so if something were to go wrong, you can go ahead and bypass the system and still use the pressure washer. The Prevo system has unique in how the slide system is done. This is your controllers for your slides. All three of your slides are controlled right here. You have a single valve here that keeps pressure on the slide seals. If you do have a seal that goes down and we need to keep the other seals up, we can cap one side off to make sure the other seals are fully inflated as well, but it's easy maintainable.
So Prevo builds these slide rooms?
Yes, Prevo builds the slide rooms. Liberty Coach has only built units with Prevo slide rooms. So we have never built another type of manufactured slide room into a Prevo bus. And the reason for that is because Prevo knows the integrity of their shell. So they know how to build that shell, how to make the modifications to allow the slide rooms to not interfere or upset the structural integrity of the chassis.
I think this is the triple super slide with the huge rear bedroom.
Yep, it is.
Awesome.
This is the front service compartment here for Prevo. This is oversized washer tank. Again, this goes back to the tour industry. You need lots of washer fluid, I guess. We have the ability to drop the front bumper. Behind the front bumper, we have a sealed area that's lighted for storage, as well as the auxiliary air compressor. So some manufacturers do the air compressors in the back, some in the middle, what have you, which when they do come on, they're sometimes not the quietest things in the world, so we keep it out of the way and keep it out of the living space.
All right, I know the customers are going to take delivery in a moment. You think we can get a sneak preview?
Boy, I hope so. Let's do it.
Sounds good. So Frank, Liberty Coach has done it again.
Yeah.
This backlit accent wall is just really commanding my attention. As I walked by the front of the coach, it just really popped out. Is that something new that Liberty Coach is doing?
We've done a couple of those. That's the backlit agate walls. I think we've done a couple videos of those before. We've also got it here on the galley backsplash, the wall panel here. We also have it on the aft vanity backsplash as well. On the cockpit arrangement here, Kurt designed this back in 2016. There's 18 different molds that go from the driver's side all the way over to the entry door. It is probably one of the most user-friendly designs. Everything is close to you. We did add this plexiglass panel here for the tow vehicle tire pressure monitoring system. We have the center pillar monitor that we have built in, so you can monitor either the tow car or trailer independent from, say, the navigation system that will be running on the iPad. And then the rest of the system, again, is very, very easy to operate. You've got a tire pressure monitoring system, the screen on the left here. And then in the window post, you've got the orange or amber indicators on the passenger side as well as on the driver's side. That is for the blind spot detection system. Another unit that is part of the Prevo Driver Assist, or their new advanced driver assist system, is a heads-up display that comes up should you get close to a collision. It'll also apply brake, very substantial brake. Camera system is also tied into the adaptive cruise control and also the lane departure system, which is part of the Prevo Advanced Driver Assist package that also ties into the heads-up display from the center dash cover. And then, of course, we have the center pillar monitor for monitoring the tow vehicle or the trailer. That is also down on the main iPad. We have a number of different cameras for the outside of the coach. I discussed earlier the 360 camera system around the coach, which is able to be viewed on your iPhone remotely. Any one of the TVs inside of the coach You also have the pan tilt camera on the back, and then also we have a camera that is on the engine door that specifically views the ball of the hitch, so you can see what's going on back there all the time as well. So we have a lot of ability to make the coach easy to operate, things that you can watch that could go wrong, and also safety oriented.
Mentioning safety, you just mentioned a lot of safety features, but Prevo's really known for their safety. What is it about Prevo that makes it the safest platform in the industry?
You know, the chassis is built on a stainless steel substructure, if you will, and then the structure as far as the axles and the drivetrain, that is separate. But the monocoque chassis arrangement of how that is built, it's not on a frame rail, it's all built monocoque from the ground up around. So every part of it is a structural member of the next, if you will. The driver's section, for an example, you know, if you pay attention to bus accidents, okay, you rarely hear of the driver being seriously injured, okay? That has to do with this whole cage arrangement that's underneath the floor here. If you looked at a shell as it's being built, the box structure that's underneath that, you could go through a brick wall essentially, and this compartment's going to pretty well stay intact. Obviously you lose the windshield, what have you. It's just the way that they build things. Again, these are built to run 2.5, 3 million miles down the road. It's got to stay together.
Yeah, and Prevo's been building these for a long time, so I'm sure they've been learning about that aspect the same way you've been learning, you know, lithium and the paint and all that good stuff. So really the overall package, just a phenomenal package.
Well, we have to be concerned about how the interior is put together as well, because God forbid you get into a situation of a significant accident, we don't need the cabinetry come flying off the walls either, right?
Yes, sir.
So, you know, we've had things like that happen in the past where a coach has been impacted significantly. We've gone back into it and everything has stayed where it was supposed to be. So you don't want that to obviously come apart on top of being involved in an accident.
Yes, sir. Well, you've been learning for over 50 years now. That's the only way to learn is to do it. So I have a lot of respect for you and your family for really leading the motor coach industry and, you know, technology, just the overall package.
So again, this was done specific for the client. We have different chairs that are here. These have electric footrests that are on here, electric controls, so they're plugged into the wall here. The other thing that we did, which was unique, this cabinet was a change from what we normally do. We normally have the AV set up in here, plus the ability for a printer. That was changed for the pets, so a little change in here.
I see a little door there here on the side.
Yeah.
Cats have grown on me recently, so, you know, got to keep the animals happy. I can appreciate that.
I mean, everybody travels with animals, it seems like anymore, you know, dogs, cats, what have you. So we're, you know, trying to accommodate whatever anybody would like to do. So that was a change there, which then meant that the AVR unit had to be done down in the bay for the sound system up here. So, you know, there's some challenges that you have to deal with on that part of it, but everything has worked out well. So it gives you kind of an idea of the custom nature that Liberty Coach has always been known for, that we continue to do.
The design in here is just incredible. Now, your brother and sister-in-law run the factory back in Chicago? Or?
So yeah, Kurt and Kim, Kurt does all the design work for the interiors of the coach, the floor plan design, the cabinet layouts, the cabinet design. He's doing and has done the dash completely, was done in 2016. We're getting ready to make some modifications to that as well. So he does that all the time. He's back on behind the computer. He does that, plus he runs the manufacturing facility up there as well. His wife Kim does the interior decor design. They also collaborate together on different features, different designs for the interiors as well. So they are primarily up in the North Chicago facility.
Yeah, and we've talked about it a couple times, but I found some pictures of you and your brother probably in like high school or teenage years working for Liberty Coach. How long have you and your brother been working for Liberty Coach?
Oh boy, I'm going to say, you know, we were in grade school, we were helping out, you know, so, and in the other businesses that we had as well. So we've been involved in it in our entire life. It's been our blood. We have been users of the coach. We know what the complex aspects of building a coach and how the owner needs to be able to use it, the service things that come up. You know, you go back years and years ago, people talk about today, well, I've got an Air Leak on a coach. That always kind of makes me smile, because years ago, you know, the leveling system on a coach was the air suspension, and there was no way to level it other than on blocks. You would drive it on blocks, or or we had a bay that had, oak blocks that were cut to different dimensions, that as soon as we stopped the coach, we would hurry up and run and put these blocks underneath the suspension, because, within about 5 or 10 minutes, all the air would leak out anyway on these old buses, and you'd hope that you would get it right, and if you didn't, it would take probably a half an hour, no joke, to get the thing to air back up again, change out the blocks and put it down. Our father was notorious for never being able to sleep on something that wasn't level. I mean, he would get the level out, he'd get a glass of water out, whatever, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, one of those blocks would break and the coach would fall over. We'd have to go back out there and level it out.
You've come a long way.
Oh boy, let me
then.
tell you. Yeah, for sure.
And I think there was a story about being in a snow, and someone challenged you, but you were in a snowstorm, like, did you say 65 below?
Oh, we were there using the coach. It wasn't a snowstorm. We were there using the coach. The people that own the RV park there in West Yellowstone plowed it all out so that we could park the coach in there, and the snow was higher than the coach, and easy 65 below zero one night, and the coach survived. So the heating systems that we've put in the coaches have been notorious for being overdone for that specific reason. We have an 83,000 BTU S-bar diesel-fired furnace that circulates the antifreeze from the main engine through the entire coach, and then there are 6 to 7 blower units that come on thermostatically controlled by these units here that are on the wall, a couple locations plus down in the bay, and that circulates through the main engine at all times. So the main engine is maintained at 150 degrees, so is the transmission. So all of the main aspects of being able to use the coach are continually heated. So yeah, you can start the coach up and leave if need be. So yeah, it's not a fallacy. It'll survive it.
Yeah, so then hot weather as well. Indio, Arizona, I've seen a lot of Liberty coaches.
Right, so we do 4 15,000 BTU reverse cycle AC units on the roof. Those are engineered in the ducting systems to be able to give more airflow, and the way that our ducting systems are done, as well as the return air systems. So they have less noise and more air delivery, plus what we do with the roof units to be able to keep them from creating vibration on the roof as well. So we insulate below where they're at with some double foam insulation that we have that has sound barrier built into it to keep that noise level down also. So our units are the quietest, most vibration-free installations.
And for no squeaks and rattles to the original owner, you got to think that through.
Exactly right, exactly. So on the interior part here, we've got the breakfast bar, which everybody talks about, has been one of the biggest accomplishments that was done probably almost 20 years ago now. And on this particular unit was opted to leave the TV cabinet out, so you end up with a bigger window area here. And then this galley arrangement has the waterfall, which you've seen a few of those that we've done in recent time. The Wolf Speed oven, which is a microwave convection oven as well, and the Wolf cooktop induction. And then we have the refrigerator with the ice maker in the freezer drawer here. This coach also has the dishwasher, which you don't see too many of them that we do, but this was, requested. Pantry area here. And then up in this area here, we've got storage throughout here. This has the paper towel holder that comes out from underneath. Paper towel holder stores there, so you're not cluttering up the cabinet. It has the Maritz Octoplex panel, which we discussed before, so all of your breakers and for 110, 220, and low voltage breakers are all monitored in this panel, plus we control that through Crestron and then also through wireless communication as well.
These backlit countertops, if you turn off the light, does it change the color at all, or does it change the look at all?
No, it still stays as bright, and sometimes people have requested this because they feel like they get more light this way than they would if we had the window open. If you leave the window open, your challenge is, what are you going to do for a blind? If you have the blind back there, then the blind gets dirty because of working in the kitchen area, and then how do you replace the blind because the pocket is too far up? So there's all kinds of challenges with having the window there. This then gives a bright feel for a window.
Yeah, great looks.
As we transition back, we have what we call the mid-toilet room, or the ETR, the 2-door unit, which is the Jack and Jill arrangement, which is very, very popular. And then as we come into the bedroom area here, this then is the super suite. So you've got a massive bedroom area here, big closets on either side of the passenger side slide room, with the mirror on both sides here. We did a built-in vacuum for this client as well.
And then the faces of these doors, a really cool design, unlike anything we've ever seen.
The opaque finishes, yep. give it a little bit more look, design, feel to it. It's kind of like how the bathroom door is. We manufacture this door in-house, so it's a solid door, no rattles, you know, all solid moldings, real wood solid moldings. They're not plastic. We make all that in-house. Same thing with the ceiling systems. All those are done solid wood. They're painted. The rest of the materials that are in the coach to be able to cut the weight down, those are in a lightweight, either a foam board, which we've done since 2001. We were able to pull out approximately 2,500 pounds from the interior of the coach by utilizing that. Kirk found that material that many years ago to be able to use that. A little bit more challenging to work with as opposed to regular lumber, but you got to learn. So that helped out on the weight carrying capacity of the coach as well. Then we have on the driver's side, on the bed section here, you've got closet on either side of the bed as well, and we did shelving back here because the closet's deep enough. You could do shoe shelving back there also. We have big deep drawers on the bottom side of the closets. We do have a king size bed back here, and then at the foot of the bed underneath there's a door that opens up, and that's where the safe is located. It's a nice size safe. It's not just a little dinky thing that, you know, you can't put anything in. And then we have the dresser set up here, so you've got all kinds of drawers all the way around. You come back into the rear vanity area, so you've got nice big vanity, lots of storage back here as well. Probably the largest shower in the industry. And then we have, you know, a nice big closet back here also.
Oh yeah, a lot of storage in this coach. Can you give us the shower test?
No problem. Plenty of room. I'm tall, you're tall. We got plenty of room to be in here.
Beautiful tile work on the floor, almost like a mosaic tile on the floor. And all white. I don't think I've ever seen all white mosaic tile, but that is just stunning. With the same agate in a shower, I don't think I've ever seen an agate backsplash in a shower.
Nope.
That's
new. That's first.
And that's very expensive, that stone too. So this might be the most expensive shower in the industry.
The other part of it is, it makes it expensive, is how we build it. So this shower, you know, we've talked about it before. Whenever you come up to our factory, you'll see these stainless steel pans that are in the shop, in the metal shop, and they are the pan for the shower floor. So we weld together a stainless steel pan that's about 6 inches high for the shower floor, and then that's put in. The rock board is put in around the shower, so there's no way that water can penetrate outside of the shower. You've talked about it before. You've been into a number of used coaches that are older. It's one of the first things that you'll smell is that mildew, that whatever that makes that bad stuff. So this can never happen in our shower. Backlit mirror that we have, people are always asking for more light, more light, more light. So we came up with the aspect of having more light. That unit is dimmable as well, but as you know, when you open up any cabinet in our coach, you're going to have a light.
Yes,
You've pointed that out a number of times, but as far as on the exterior part of it, we have plenty of light now.
Extremely bright lights in every cabinet. And then I see the agate backsplash in the rear bathroom as well. A lot of agate in this coach.
Yeah, really cool. It goes with the outside, you know, the blues on the outside, carpet on the throws on the floor do, you know, so there's a lot of things that tie in the exterior of the coach.
And as we're walking through here, I see this huge panel bedside. What all are you able to do from that panel?
So this is one of the iPads that's in the coach. You have 3 of them. You've got one on the dash that's fixed, and you have the 2 removable iPad Pro units. Those are on a magnetic inductive charge base. Those control everything in the coach. So all the mechanical features, all the electrical lighting features, the shades, the air conditioning, anything, the air operated doors, that can be controlled, the windows on the outside. The only thing that we don't control from Crestron or from the iPad is the slide room operation. Those are regular, or if you will, rocker switches. There's one on the dash, there's 2 in the mid bath here to operate the back of the coach. I feel like you should be able to see the slide rooms be present when they're moving in and out to make sure that there's no obstruction or something that's going to get in the way.
Now, if someone wants to order a new Liberty coach, what's the current wait time?
You're looking at right now probably into April of 2024 for delivery. Our inventory levels are still low compared to what we had been, you know, a few years back, but we have inventory that's coming in. Sometimes it doesn't hit the website because it turns so quickly, and the sales guys are on it as soon as we get it. So you have to kind of monitor the website, even though I say that, you know, some of the stuff doesn't hit it, but you have to kind of monitor as well. But also you can always email in coachsales@libertycoach.com. You can also call in 800-554-9877, or you can email off straight from the website. We also have the other company of ours, which is the Motorhome Exchange. The Motorhome Exchange typically has units that are going to be non-Liberty product. They could be Marathon, they could be Newell, they could be anything really out there. Liberty coach product that's outside of 10 years production is into the Motorhome Exchange. So you can look at the motorhomeexchange.com for that, and most of the people there would contact Dave Wall on that side.
Okay, so serious and qualified buyers can, the best way is to just get on that website and get a conversation going. And then also too, I'd recommend keeping in contact with your salesperson, because the really good units, a lot of times they get snapped up as soon as they come in. So,
and we also have to talk about the Emerald product we have as well. So you monitor the Emerald product, which Emerald is a unit that's built out in Stephenville, Texas. I'm a dealer, or Liberty Coach is a dealer for them. So we have those coming in, probably 4 or 5 a year coming in on those. And plus we have used on that as well.
yeah, real nice product, a lot less expensive than a Liberty Coach, but still a great product.
No question.
A lot to be said about that. Well, Frank, I really appreciate you taking the time to show us this amazing coach. I know you have a lot going on here today. Appreciate you.
I just really appreciate everybody watching. I do monitor the comments. I go back, look at them every week or 2 weeks, and I'll make comments back, but I love to get those and sometimes the questions that come with it. So yeah, I'm ready and willing to answer.
Awesome, Frank. Great.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, sir.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate all of you subscribing to the channel and liking these videos. Hope you're all having a great day. Thanks again.
Thank you.